Hi guys, welcome to the last of the club tournament games. This is game 4, and this time it's my Welsh up against my opponent's Welsh, and it's Champions of God, which is just slaughter points. So my warband you've seen before: 8 Hearthguard, 8 Warriors, an Enlightened Priest, and 12 Level with Bow. And my opponent has Murdered Ap Owain, 8 Warriors, 8 Warriors, 8 Warriors, 8 Warriors, 12 Level with Bow. Murdered is the one that has the penny rule, which reduces the amount of Saga I generate, and is able to activate his warriors, or sorry, any of his guys with any dice, which is quite useful. So here's my opponent's side, and as you can see, he's got 8 Warriors, then Murdered himself, another 8 Warriors, and finally another 8 Warriors and his levy with bow. So he's clustered up in quite a good solid group there, and I do the same down the bottom. So down the bottom, as you can see, I've got my Enlightened Priest at the back. There it goes, praying for 6s, which is my dragon, I believe, the rare dice for the Welsh. And I have 8 Warriors up front, behind my Warlord. Then I have my Hearthguard in behind them, 8 of them. 8 Warriors to the left, and of course my Welsh Bowmen, 12 of them. My main idea here was to try and split him to go either side of the pond there, and I'll dash across the all to one side on the right here. I kind of do what I plan, but he reacts just as quick. In our first turn, we both move up as we can. I surprisingly move quite well, considering that I've only generated 2 dice this turn, thanks to the penny rule. But thanks to my Enlightened Priest, there's a 6 there, and I get to activate everybody, and everyone's happy. So I move up, and my opponent does the same sort of thing, so we're matching each other at the moment. So my levy start with taking some javelins and some bowfire from his levy, and seem to be annoyingly accurately chipping me away. 3 casualties so far. And yet another 3 casualties. It's half my levy unit have already gone. I really wish my mine were that effective. So my turn looks like this, and I continue doing what I hope to do, and that's just to push this one flank, try and break the small warrior units there with my Hearthguard, and try and take out his character, because it's a nice lot of points. As I say, this is a slaughter point game, so with 6 guys gone, I've already given away 3 points for none in return. In my opponent's next turn, he starts throwing javelins and fires arrows at me as per usual, and I lose another 2 of my levy. And at the end of the shooting, you can see they've taken quite a few casuals right around, so that's 5 points of levy. No, it's not. I fib. That's it's 1 in 3, isn't it? I've lost 9. So it's 3 points of levy and another point of warriors I've lost there for slaughter points. And I think the only casualty I've done there is that 1 dice in the background behind his warrior unit, mid left. I think that is an actual casualty on him. That's all I've done with my shooting so far. So hopefully my next turn I'll be generating my max dice and be able to go at him. And go at him I do. My Hearthguard, who haven't been that effective during these tournaments so far, is finally fighting something that they can outclass. So I'm going to chuck these guys in. Hope here is just to push through and get some damage on the Warlord in behind. And they definitely do me proud here by breaking through there and killing 6 of them. Oh no, it's got a marker there. So, oh no, that's fatigue. That's what it is. It's not wounds, it's fatigue. He does have the models to break them up. So yeah, I do 6 wounds to them and don't lose any of my Hearthguard in return. And my warriors all fan out and start throwing javelins. And with all my javelins, I think I managed 2 casualties on his warriors. So with my Hearthguard out in the open, he decides to throw some javelins, which is wisely done, as I would as well. I do suffer -1 armor against shooting, being the Welsh. So it's worth hammering away here and manage to take down 2 of the guys. Yeah, and the onslaught continues, and I lose another 2. That's 4 points I've given away to my opponent though. So I move up and throw some, and manage to kill 1. I then move up to engage in close combat and take all but 2 of the warriors out with my Hearthguard and my Warlord, so he's getting some fatigue on him at the moment. And other than that, I've moved up to try and shoot, and I'm struggling to take down his warriors, even though I'm only hitting on their armor value of 3, because, as I say, they're Welsh too, and have 1 less armor against shooting. So my opponent chucks his 8 warriors in against my 2 Hearthguard, with fatigue on them. And my Hearthguard somehow managed to beat them off and killing one and lose none in return. So they're going to be running away for the rest of the game now, just to try and hold on to my 2 points there. My unit at the top here charges along, tries to take out two, throwing some javelins and getting in combat. Fails to kill two Ruddy Hearthguard, and they now stand there and get shot at by his remaining warriors and warlord. In the centre we had a clash, and I lost most of my warriors as well, for a few casualties on my opponent. So things aren't looking completely great. I think by now my levies are also gone. They've been finished off by my opponent's levies, and I'm simply running out of warriors to do actual damage here at range, and yeah, not looking good for my Welsh. So as you see, I'm trying to run away, throw some javelins on. My opponent's just trying to close in and get some damage done to finish me off. And we finally finish off those two at the top. And this is the final shot of the game. I basically run in and finish off that little unit that was beside the warlord, and that is all I can do. I mean, I hurl a lot into the warlord, into the warriors around the warlord. I can't get anything else to stick, and unfortunately I lost this one. It was really good. I don't think there was a lot in it. I think I must have caused about 12 points and probably lost. No, probably actually it was quite bad, to be honest. Yeah, okay, yeah, I lost this one quite bad. But I think now I know what's wrong with my list and how I thought this went. And I'll go have a quick word about it just after my little update on the giveaway. Hey guys, yes, it's finally the giveaway. This is my 40th video on Saga. I have the Saga rulebook with all the starting 4 boards in. That's the Welsh, Anglo-Dane, Viking and Norman. With it I've also got a set of Crusader dice, I've got a set of Viking dice, I have my 4 Berserkers as well, and I'm chucking in something else for my own collection as well. So I just hope that will be good for you to start up Saga yourselves. This was all thanks to Gripping Beast. They allowed me to have this for a giveaway. So what I'm going to do is in the comments I'll have the word hail, and if you could just reply to that with the words Ragnar, and hopefully probably about Sunday I'll pick the first maximum of 20 people, roll a dice and randomly select you to win, and I'll send this out to you. Alright guys, thanks a lot. So guys, that's the end of the tournament, and unfortunately I didn't do very well. The winning player was player fielding Knut, yes, which allows him to use the Anglo-Dane and the Viking battle board. That seemed to do quite well, and he won all his games. So my theories on the Welsh so far. Okay, first of all, my list is a real crap Welsh list. Now I've played some games with it, I know what the Welsh can do. I'm already knowing what I'm going to do to change it. The main thing is my warlord, I'm just going to upgrade him to an enlightened priest. An enlightened priest is so useful for the Welsh. I mean, my main abilities are all 6s. So as a quick look, so we've got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 abilities out of my 12 one-use abilities require a 6. There is another ability that could have a 6, so that's probably 6 out of 12. Half my abilities need a 6 to work. My Hearthguard, so my Enlightened Priest will now become my Warlord, which I'm happy with. That gives me a spare point, and I'm definitely going to go for more warriors. And I'll probably drop my Hearthguard as well, because Hearthguard, they're too fragile against enemy shooting, and there's just no combat abilities here that will help me enough to make them a good striking unit. I mean, the most what was it I used? Answering the nope, not answering the call. I know it is Rising Out. Rising Out allows me to activate all my warriors and levies, and to be honest, that I just for 2 dice I can move everything. So if I drop my Hearthguard out, stick in, say, another Warm Warrior. So with that and my priest gone, that'll bring my warriors up to 4. So I have a Enlightened Priest, 4 warriors, and a levy, and I'm actually thinking another levy, probably with javelins, since I don't suffer too much from moving them around thanks to the Rising Out. But after this tournament, I did realise I wasn't using much of the Welsh board. So just going to quick look through. I think I've used Children of the Land once or twice. I think I used Taunting once. That was against the Vikings, who then tore through the unit that I tried to taunt into the wood, which had ambush for the 3 attack and 3 defense dice. Basically, every turn it was rising out. There was nothing else that really helped me. So I don't know. I think the board is a bit too expensive to use in costs of powerful dice, the rare dice, and there's just not enough abilities to make them hitty. I just struggle to do damage. I mean, doesn't matter what I did. The opposing players have always got a couple of things to increase their defensive ability, and I mean, relying on shooting as well. They're going to be stopping 50% of what I do, because you have a 4-up save against shooting. And obviously my shooting, I have fewer attacks from shooting than I do in combat. So I was really doing somewhat pitiful amount of damage in this warband. So yeah, definitely need the bodies to get far more dice thrown at my enemy. Other than that, I don't know what else to do really. I think the priest, as I say, was far too useful, though. Even now, with the update to priests, they have dropped down a lot. I think probably the Welsh are the only ones that are really going to find a use for a priest. They're quite expensive to use now, in cost and fatigue. They don't generate so much Saga. So, I haven't played any other boards where I have relied on one dice so much as I have with these Welsh. I mean, they're good fun to play. I'm definitely keeping these guys and are going to keep at it. But hopefully, with a bit of a change around, get some more bodies in it. I mean, I'm going to be gaining another 8 warriors will be added in, and 12 levy. So I'll be gaining another 20 models. So that should make a difference. Being able to activate all those units as well, because I won't have my Hearthguard there with the rising out. That would be quite cool, and hopefully be quite effective. So yeah, my thoughts on the Welsh: hard going and limited board use unless you really mass out with the infantry. I mean, in my last game, I think my opponent's idea of warriors and levy was really effective, but with your taking app away so you can use any dice to activate them, that works really well. But with an enlightened priest and your chance of using that rising out, that's just so fantastic. I mean, one game I was using rising out and answering the call. Answering the call is a move with an L of your warlord, and does not generate fatigue. So you can get 2 moves on here without any fatigue. Unlike my Bretons, which I can run away when things go really bad, I cannot do it with the Welsh either. And what tends to happen is I then get charged. You got hit and run, which allows me to move 1 unit within M of an enemy to be activated. But that means they're moving out of shooting range. They're not going to get any shooting done. Yeah, it was hard work. I found them very hard work. But as I say, next plan, another unit of levy, which I can happily break down to 2 units of 6 with javelins. Obviously, I don't need the numbers. They can fight just as well as warriors with javelins. I'll probably keep my bow ones as well, because it's always nice to have just a little bit of range to force other people to come to you, especially if they're using cavalry like Normans and that. Yeah, I thought, loads of terrain and stuff, I'll be fine. We didn't have any later period ones. We had 1 Crusader in the list. I think he came second, funnily enough. I think it was a Crusader force. But I never got to fight him, so I never got to use the terrain to my advantage there. The only time I did try it, as I say, was against the Vikings, and I lost out. Every time I fought in terrain, I was the loser. So yeah, I built with all this nice terrain, but it doesn't seem to be quite what I require. So hopefully with more bodies, I can at least soak up some more damage, and try and form some sort of counter. I think that's the hardest thing with this band. There's no harsh counter. In my Crusaders, I could just hit them with the Knights. With my Anglo-Danes, I've got my Dane Axemen, who are just fantastic. They 8-man unit could just wipe out other units without a worry. With all the defensive abilities as well, you very rarely take a good amount of damage. Who else have I used? My Bretons. Again, I can have mounted Hearthguard units, making them far more useful and far less fragile. I mean, those guys have less armour than my Welsh being mounted and all, but they do so much more damage. My ability to move in 12, got 24-inch move with 2 actions, throw some javelins, and then get out of there. Fortunately, with all my Welsh, they get up to the point where they can hurl javelins at you, and then they're stuck, standing in front of you. And if it's something like the Vikings or the Anglo-Danes who just know they want to get stuck into combat, you're going to lose so many warriors. And in the case of my Hearthguard, I thought it'd be great to have the 8 attacks from the ranged, but it didn't do enough. For that squad of unit, I can have 16 bodies still knocking out 8 attacks for having 2 units of warriors, and I think that'll be far more effective than the Hearthguard is. If I had some abilities it would help, give them some oomph in combat, maybe so, but nah, definitely not worth it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry it wasn't the greatest action of play from me. I think I lost all but one of my games. Yeah, it was a steep learning curve for these guys. It's definitely easier fighting when you can run away on horseback, but I want to try these guys out. I want to get them to work. There is this Strathclyde Welsh I was very tempted with, but they're all mounted. There's a character which allows you to put them on foot, which might work quite well, because that's more of a combat-y Welsh army. But we'll see how it goes. I've got to get some more games with them, and plus my Saga at the moment has slowed down a lot because some of our Saga players have gone back to uni and that. So I've got to see what I can do. I've got a little plan really to get together to start building some more Saga armies and give them all a go so you can get to see them, but at a more cost-effective way of doing it. So if that works out, that'll be ideal. You'll have plenty more Saga battle reports. I want to get some big ones in. I don't think I've shown any of the big 4 ways we have some fun with. But next on the list, I'm going through some bolt action games. So hopefully you'll see some more bolt action, and I'll be coming back to Saga soon after I've painted up some new stuff. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Farewellis.